there is a staggering tsunami of wealth that is in motion between generations.
President Trump is reportedly expected to sign an executive order in the coming days that would help make private market investments more available to U.S. retirement plans. Could pave the way for big managers of these private assets to access the vast sums of retirement savings held by workers who don't have a traditional pension.
Over a year ago, Larry Fink was recorded speaking about trying to boost GDP in order to curtail inflation. We are seeing a strategy be revealed that is coming out of the mouths of the financial elites as well as top government officials. They're working in concert and echoing each other.
Should we be changing the rules so we can put our 401ks or our IRAs into private markets?
I believe there are some great areas of private markets that are going to be great investments for retirement. And I would channel that more towards infrastructure, because infrastructure has a long maturity. It has a higher coupon, but it has a lower profile of returns than what I would say other areas of the private markets. So it has a good corridor of returns, but higher probabilities of meeting those returns. And so, yes, we need to be re-looking at how we think about investing, whether that is going to be in private equity or infrastructure. I do believe, we need to be putting more long-dated assets into retirement, and so that you could meet the returns that you need to have the pool of money that you require.
When you think about what happened with crypto, you took coins that had no market value, that were worth zero at the time, and you created these marketplaces and you pushed the coin price as high as it can go. Now it's multi-trillion-dollar market cap. This could be done with any type of financial asset, and it looks like what they're trying to do is make private equity the next meme coin.
In our interview yesterday about energy and energy infrastructure, Larry Fink of BlackRock kind of alluded to this. He said, well, soon, and I'm paraphrasing, I should have the direct quote, so I don't want to screw it up, but it was something like, well, soon we're going to have access to private capital in your 401k, something like that. BlackRock and firms like that would benefit big time if this were to happen.
They would benefit big time. And so that's why firms like BlackRock, Apollo is also very interested in this. Even there are some retirement plan providers who are saying, yeah, this makes sense to do, like Empower. They want to make sure that that's available to their 401k holders to, as they would say, level the playing field. But there's a lot of controversy over if people don't understand today how a target date fund works right as it stands now, or maybe not even how an S&P 500 fund works. They're just defaulting into whatever the default is for their plan. Adding something that is an alternative investment that is less liquid, less transparent, that has high fees. Not sure if this is something that is truly for everyone.
It looks like the United States is getting ready to loosen the restrictions around private equity. Now, these are illiquid assets, and they're reserved for accredited investors. But it looks like the regulations are going to loosen it up for financial advisors, retirement accounts, so the big guys can invest in private equity for the little guy's retirement. It's estimated that retirement accounts are around $35 trillion. Now, imagine just 1% of this $35 trillion or 10%, whatever the percentage may be, headed into private equity, these illiquid asset class. It's going to push valuations sky high. At the same time, you're seeing multiple tokenization projects trying to tokenize equities and allow their customers to access private equity. In my opinion, what we'll see is the retirement account managers pushing up private equity prices as high as possible. And as the pinnacle gets printed, regulations will loosen once more to remove the accredited investor qualifications. This will allow the average Joe to invest in private equity just as the valuations are sky high, leaving them holding the bag. Before we continue the show, I'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsor, Incogni. Incogni is a service that will reach out to data brokerages that are storing your data Ask them to remove your data. In an age where every move you make online, every click, every purchase, every like is meticulously harvested, packaged, and sold for profit, data brokerages purchase this data and distill it into a report that is then sold to corporations that use these reports to sell things to you. The devil is in the details, and the more information these companies have, the more information they can use to exploit you. Exploit you by preying on your vulnerabilities. Once you give Incogni permission to work on your behalf, they will scan data brokers and ask them to remove your personal data from their databases. As the future becomes tokenized and as the financial system becomes updated, all of your information is going to be tied to financial records, and this, for one, scares me. So check out incogni.com/Darren. If you use my link and you use code Darren, you'll get 60% off the annual plan, plus a money-back guarantee. So check them out at incogni.com/Darren.
There's this cool thing that I'm involved in, Invest America. Okay. And it's a new initiative. It's part of the BBB, the Big Beautiful Bill, if you guys have heard that. Yeah. It's the reconciliation bill making its way through Washington right now. Yeah. And this is kind of the most non-controversial part of it. Both Democrats and Republicans agree with the premise that the Invest America Act should go through. And basically what that does is every new baby born in this country would get $1,000 funded in a brokerage account. And it would be essentially passively invested in a broad-based market index fund. And, it would just be ad only. So there would be incentives for parents or, people from your church to add money to this investment account. Oh, wow. And so you sort of like get to see the magic of compounding and get to plug in these babies into the market from the beginning.
I need to have a few babies now.
So, I think that's pretty amazing. So
Trump has decided to pass a law to give $1,000 to every newborn between 2025 and 2028. Now, if you think about what he is doing, they're borrowing money into existence and then giving it to the big banks or giving it to the large institutions to manage on behalf of these children. And this is the overall game plan. If you haven't gotten it by now, there's only so much capital in the world. So when you can take illiquid assets and you can borrow against illiquid assets and then bet in the stock market, you could push asset prices higher and higher and higher.
I think Robinhood we actually have a front end that we demonstrated. I think it was pretty good. We're ready to go for that. And I think the goal would be to get it out in advance of the 250th anniversary of the country, which is coming up next year. Wow. So I think everyone will have to get access to the stock market. I think the government also understands this, and I think the tailwinds will be towards more and more access to stocks and other investments. Yeah. I think everyone will have to get access to the stock market. I think the government also understands this, and I think the government also understands this.
U.S. dollar dominance is not going anywhere because there are people that have a strategy in place for this tokenized financial system. This is why we've seen the crypto markets continue to do cycles and reach trillion-dollar market caps, because there is a utility, there is a plan to use this tokenized financial infrastructure. It's much like the idea that we had with the World Economic Forum and central bank digital currencies, but instead it's happening in a very different way. Instead of the government and the Federal Reserve taking over the world, they're going to allow the U.S. private sector to take over the world. The CEO of Robinhood stated that the government understands that everybody needs accessibility into the U.S. stock market. But why? Stablecoins further the reach of the U.S. dollar. Everyone in every country is able to use U.S. dollars via stablecoins. Tokenized securities means that everybody with stable coins will be able to invest in U.S. companies. And as these large institutions take 35 trillion and push it into private equity, they're going to cause a frenzy in the market. All people all over the world will want to FOMO into this market.
I think one of the reasons why many people consider crypto to just be meme coins and Bitcoin is it's basically been illegal to connect crypto to things of value. So once that's legal, you'll see it connected to things of value. And I think meme coins will become a smaller and smaller percentage of the utility. So I think crypto and traditional financial services are going to fully merge. It'll be one and the same. Crypto will be like saying cloud. Yeah. It's like, it's not going to be a different element. Crypto will be powering traditional financial services under the hood. So they'll be one and the same.
The digital asset space has grown to insane levels. If you think Bitcoin started off at zero and has grown to a multi-trillion-dollar market cap, that is something exceptional. When we look at all these different coins that offer utility, well, we can't really do anything with the coins. It's great for the crypto world. We can move back and forth into different protocols. We could bridge, we could earn yields, we could yield farm, mint NFTs, do all types of amazing things in crypto, but it's isolated to just crypto. As trillions are ushered in by the powers that be, it's going to push up crypto prices. This is trillions of dollars in value being paired to crypto.
We know that we are going to have to digitize our entire economy. We know we're going to have to move forward on decarbonization. These require huge pools of money. Allow the private sector to be part of that. We have this enormous functional capital markets that can provide the capital. We as a country must use it more often and access the role of private sector. And so I think we still, that does not change the course of our deficits, but we can certainly reallocate some of our monies into more urgent issues.
If you listen to Fink closely, you can hear that what he's looking for is for the public to invest in the things that normally the U.S. government would have to pay for. We are already seeing stuff like this take place. I mean, look at Palantir. Palantir is a private institution that partnered with the government in order to use artificial intelligence against the people.
We need to grow our economy so our deficits are a smaller component of our GDP. That is the bigger issue. If we continue to just grow at 2% and we have these type of deficits, that's when the deficits really are going to be a problem out 5 and 10 years.
But you suggest 3%. Is that realistic?
That has to be our target. We need to find ways of growing at 3% instead of just cutting taxes, or we need to find ways of incenting private capital to be investing more. We need to encourage growth. And we need to be, and this is a debate now, and there's a lot of people talking against this, we need to embrace our capitalism, because our capitalism has shown to be the best economic force in the world.
Think about what he's saying. We're nearing the end of this debt bubble, and the symptoms are showing. Everybody in finance, they have degrees in economics, and Larry Fink is telling you a tale of trying to match debt to GDP. But there's a reason the Fed has picked a target of 2%. He's saying that we're going to need 3%. And there's a reason, because the debt load is so large, it's so massive, that it is impossible to balance with the status quo. By utilizing tokenization, by pushing all of the capital on the sidelines into the mix, we're able to push up asset prices and then use asset prices in our favor.
Fast forward into the future. Take yourself to like a year that's ahead of this year at some point. Pick wherever you want. Not 100 years. Think a little bit closer than this. You will transact all business using FedCoin. And if you don't do that, then you will be at a soup kitchen for nourishment, okay? There will be tradable bartering systems for miscreant criminals. Fine, you don't want to be a part of that. But we will have a closed loop blockchain currency. Now, the Bitcoin is fascinating because it's a distributed ledger. So you have so many people in the ledger. It's fascinating. This will be Watson supercomputer made by IBM or some big American corporation that's housed in some sort of facility in Virginia with spiral barb around it. And it will have every dollar on this chain. And when you're paid, it will know that you were paid, and it will assess tax accordingly. And it will eliminate counterfeiting, it will eliminate tax evasion, and it will give the monetary authorities control over every dollar in the system, which they don't have right now. And they certainly didn't have during capitalism, because you could really walk around with a lot of cash back then. Now you can't go anywhere with more than 10 grand. And I hate to tell you, but 10 grand is not really much money. I mean, it's not material. You can't get any bill over 100, which 100 is like, doesn't buy you lunch in New York. I mean, it's like crazy. So cash is already finished. You're already moving towards that. And the final piece of it is everybody thinks crypto is cool. Every old lady thinks that their nephew is cool because, he told them about crypto and he made money and he seems so cool. So everybody has a positive view about this. And that's necessary, because when we collapse into this, meaning we're going to have some debt explosion type collapse into this, this will be the new measure of everything financial in your life. Your debts, your assets, your income, your cost will all be measured in this. And you're going to love it. Later, you're not going to love it. But at first, you're going to think this is great. You're going to go for it because it's going to seem better than the alternative. And there's no way to avoid it. Sadly, there's also no way to prepare for it.
On this channel, I've been talking about the Internet of Value for quite some time. We've been talking about how this financial system's going to evolve and what to expect. And everything that we've talked about has come true. We've talked about a reset into crypto asset technologies, and this is what's happening. Crypto asset is the underpinning, the protocol where this next financial system lives. It doesn't have to be closed loop. Decentralized protocols can be bridged with artificial intelligence, watching, tracking, and tracing every transaction. Your entire digital life can be tracked and traced using artificial intelligence. We have seen celebrities shilling things like FTX. We've seen celebrities shilling meme coins. This is by design. You see, this was sold to us. This was given the illusion that was cool, that it was hip. There has been a corporate takeover, a Wall Street takeover, and a government presence. Crypto used to be strictly libertarian, but this is no longer true. We have been infiltrated, and our idea of the future is a thing of the past. It's been warped and twisted. He who steals money is put in jail. He who seizes a kingdom is proclaimed an emperor. Thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. If you enjoy content like this, please consider joining my Patreon.